EverQuest Next development discontinues, but Landmark gets a launch date. Guild Wars 2 introduces a new raid wing and more. Rift and DFO celebrate their anniversaries, and Paladins changes its logic on cards and champions introduced to the game. What's happening, guys? James Ballon here with MMOHuts.com with a quick weekly recap for MMO news and announcements of the week ending March 14th, 2016. And just like last week, we had a lot of launches for exciting stuff. This week is all about the anniversaries and closures, unfortunately. Starting with the free-to-play robot fighting game Rising Thunder from Radiant Entertainment. In an announcement on their core website, Radiant revealed that it has been acquired by none other than Riot Games, and as a result, shutting down its work on Progress Rising Thunder on March 18th, this week. Despite the fact it's been acquired by Riot, it is still continuing its work on Stonehearth, its voxel-style civilization RPG that it's already been working on. I don't think too many people are going to be too sad that this game never left the ground, but as a farewell note for Rising Thunder, Radiant says that with Riot, it will start work on a new game that we're all incredibly excited about. I guess we'll see. Next up, Scarlet Blade from Aeria Games will cease service on March 31st. The announcement was made late February, but for some reason that press release didn't exactly make it to our inbox. Apparently, according to Aeria, the main reason for its closure is a technical glitch that has prevented content updates and created server instability. That, combined with the lack of financial resources, has kept the team from finding and solving the problem effectively, so Aeria decided to shut her down because the game wasn't able to deliver the intended game experience. Well, I kind of thought that the intended experience was boobs. Didn't really think that was a problem delivering that. Of course, Aeria Games is compensating players who purchased items in the game between January 1st and March 31st, but they're also trying to give players an easy transition over to Echo of Soul. So if you had at least one level 39 character in Scarlet Blade, you can receive a free Echo of Soul Veterans package that will allow you to level jump one of your characters all the way up to level 35, among other things. So it looks like Scarlet Boobs is going to be no more as of March 31st, other than a few private servers here and there. So I guess that means you're going to have to focus your attention on Boobs and Soul now. And last, and the most disappointing closure announcement of all, Daybreak Games' new president, Russell Shanks, announced the cancellation of the development for EverQuest Next. According to the statement made, once all of the pieces of the game were put together, it just wasn't fun, and seeing that EverQuest fans have high standards when it comes to Nora, they felt like the game wouldn't meet the expectations or hype that EverQuest has brought in the past. On the flip side, EverQuest Next sidekick development game, Landmark, has been given a release date for this spring. Daybreak acknowledges that it tried to make Landmark a game of its own, and not just a building tool for EverQuest Next. I kind of find that hard to believe. What's more is it too has turned to the buy-to-play side, just like H1Z1. However, the price is lower now to buy the game entirely than it has been to purchase a Founders Pack before. So, the new price for Landmark will be $9.99 when it launches. Farewell, awesome EQ Next. I was there for the reveal, and it absolutely blew me away. This one is a real shame, in my opinion. Moving on to less depressing news, Rift is celebrating its 5-year anniversary this month, and in doing so, kicking off with promotions and in-game events that offer exclusive rewards for its players. Over its 5 years, the game has seen 36 major updates and expansion, continuous innovation in helping players adventure together, and more than 50,000 years of combined playtime. Not bad. From now through April 5th, players will earn 5th anniversary tickets for completing zone events, random dungeons and warfronts, and weekly crafting quests. The more tickets players earn, the more in-game prizes they can unlock. Some of the prizes include mounts, unlockable dimensions, tier 3 raid gear, 46 capes, and a lot more. Now, that's just one type of celebration. There's plenty more details if you want to be part of the action at the site posted at MMOHuts.com. Next up, celebrating its 1-year anniversary on its own, published by itself, Dungeon Fighter Online runs some special events and sales from now until April 5th. A lot of the events and sales are based around the Assassin, seeing that they introduced the Thief's 4th advancement, the Shadow Dancer, in Season 2, Act 2-1. With deadly assassination techniques, the Shadow Dancer specializes in striking from behind and has to make adjustments to her strategy depending on the direction the enemy is facing. It's kind of an interesting mechanic there. So seeing that they're most effective when they're behind the enemy, they have abilities that allow them to do just that, or better yet, manipulate their enemy's direction of attack so it benefits them. Likewise, the new Nightmare Awakening for the Thief introduces new skills like Killing Shadow at level 50, where the Nightmare quickly travels a broad area, slashing down enemies in its path, where each slashing motion generates a new shadowy clone that joins the attack. There's plenty more to see in Act 2 and anniversary celebrations. Head over to the site post to catch the new videos and see the official announcements for the new Thief Advancement and Awakening. Also last week, we've got a couple of announcements from NCSoft Games, starting with Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns introducing its next raid wing, Salvation Pass. As players venture deeper into the jungle, they soon encounter a true sleeping giant in the form of a mutant sloth known as Slothasor. Let me just say, waking him up from his forever nap is a pretty daring move. As the story continues, your investigation moves forward as you prepare to face the dangers that lie beyond the mysterious ruins, dealing with a mysterious energy that creates threats like Slothasor. The past refuses to be forgotten, and the extent of its corrupting influence is yet to be revealed. Well, some of it's kind of revealed in this new behind-the-scenes video you see playing here, so be sure to check that out if you want to learn more. Then again, new dangers bring new rewards. A victory at Salvation Pass can earn you ascended weapons, new weapon skins, miniatures of each raid boss, and more. If you're playing Heart of Thorns, the new content has been live as of March 8th. On a similar note, Wildstar drops a preview of its latest major content update, Arctera. This update is based around the brand new zone for level 50 players known as Arctera. And the caretaker has been searching for the Vault of the Archon and found it in the unexplored area of Nexus, the frigid tundra Arctera. So the exiles and the Dominion rush there to find out what they can, but what makes this zone unique is how it reacts to players' activities. There's a bar on the right side of the screen that shows the intensity of the bosses and how they're being dealt with in the area by players. And as more players kill bosses as they arrive, harder and harder bosses appear. As you kill these more challenging bosses, you get better and better rewards as a result. And this is just one of the several features brought in by the new update and the new area. Check out the patch notes at MMOHuts.com for more details. In other Wildstar news, Paragon Studios has more layoffs that were announced this past week, unfortunately. According to NCSoft, the development team is still committed to the game. However, due to the reduction in staff at Carbine, the plans for bringing Wildstar to China is now out the window. Next up, the new PvP map Highwall is headed to Armored Warfare in update 0.14. The new map spans 1,200 by 1,200 meters in size and takes place completely within an industrial strip mine. Now, the cool part is this map features multiple pathways set at varying elevations, similar to those seen in real-life mining operations, creating a mix of both short and long-range engagement opportunities. The routes presented in this map have diverging paths, opening up key opportunities for players to flank their enemies and overrun a route from several different directions. The land here has been mostly cleared of forest, making room for a small industrial infrastructure that has grown over time. Heavy mining equipment dot the landscape that might provide slight cover in a pinch. But beyond the new map, update 0.14 brings in 3 new PvE missions, penetration mechanics overhaul to the light tank and tank destroyers, community requested gameplay changes to high-tier gameplay, a new social network sharing system interface, and the replay system that's been in development. So it turns out this is a fairly large update. Keep a lookout for more details closer to the launch of the update later this month. Speaking of patch notes, update 4.2.0. Plenty more numbers launched for Hearthstone today, and with it, players can now enjoy the game in Thai. They've made several improvements to the collection manager and added UI elements to pave the way for the new upcoming formats. There's also a new hero and new card backs to earn, and that's all included in the patch without the pre-purchase of the new Whispers of the Old Gods module, which is also available in this patch. The pre-purchase, that is. The new Whispers of the Old Gods expansion will introduce 134 new cards to add to your collection, but these are no ordinary cards. These are steeped in the insidious influence of the Old Gods, so unknown terrors will give your decks new and bizarre forms, so you can also expect to see some old friends that have succumbed to the corrupt powers. Check out the patch notes and the new cinematic trailer at the site post link in the description below. Otherwise, the new update is live, but the new expansion launches on May 31st. Also having to do with cards, Paladin gets yet another hero in the latest patch. This time it's Androxus, the Godslayer, who's packing a demonic or cursed pistol or arm. Can't really tell. Either way, it's really cool. His secondary fire, or right click, fires 3 shots in rapid succession, but at a reduced accuracy, of course. His Nether Step ability gives him nice mobility. With this, he's able to dash in any direction, even upward, and may do so again for 4 seconds after using the ability, and because of this, his passive allows him to slow his fall rate by pressing spacebar, so he doesn't take fall damage as bad. His ultimate is straightforward, but fairly devastating, I would say. Androxus freezes in midair and gains flight, mutating his arm into a swirl of cursed energy that can fire 4 explosive blasts, each dealing 600 damage before the 4-second duration is up. Seems like a really fun hero to try. Looks cool anyway. But speaking of heroes, Hi-Rez announced a major change in the way that it would handle champions going forward. They are now shifting from all champions are free to a play-to-unlock model similar to Smite. Coming straight from the official announcement, originally we had planned to release very few champions every year and instead release lots of new cards to diversify gameplay. It became quickly apparent after we launched the closed beta that this approach was not going to work. Not only did it play havoc with balancing, but the general consensus from the community was a desire for new champions. Because of these 2 factors, among other things, we decided to shift our focus on bringing out more champions on a regular basis while keeping the card pool relatively low. So kind of went the other way on that one. So there you have it. They do plan on having a ultimate god pack like setup like they do with Smite. Otherwise you'll have to unlock them with real cash currency or in-game currency like you have experienced in the past with other games. And with that out of the way, Hi-Rez has mentioned they plan to release a new champion every 4 to 6 weeks. And finally, for a last bit of news, as a reminder for those of you who are interested, Paragon is headed into early access this week on the 18th. They've got a new trailer out for that reason, and they started selling Founders Packs. But like I mentioned last week, if they're going to start selling Founders Packs, I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a little harder to get into the early access without actually picking up a Founders Pack. Guess we'll have to see. Anyway guys, that's about it for all the major MMO news and announcements for this week. Like always, if you're looking for more information about the news topics featured in the recap, check the links in the description below or head over to MMOHuts.com for the latest in gaming news. Feel free to discuss the news in the comments below and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time guys, it's going to be it from me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.